like, comment, hopefully subscribe. And if you make it to the end of this video, you should comment your dream car. We all want to know. That is your entire job. And so if there's a man lying on the floor inside of a burning building, yes, as a firefighter, you should be going in there to rescue that man.
The killer whales eat the salmon. So that's why they're trying to save the fish. But the problem is, Caleb's a child and is about to pee on himself.
Oh gosh, okay.
It's okay. It's okay, Caleb. You sit back down.
Back in my head and says, get down on my knees.
To work in the field that we work in, we have to put all that and feelings to the side.
Die a little quieter, please.
There's too much blood. I mean, like, you might as well just give up.
These secret societies came out of like the old mystery cult.
That'd be great.
Sir, you can leave. Fair.
I think that they are prepping for apocalypse.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in season 2, episode 6. I have to remind myself. And I just wanted to recap what we talked about last time. We talked about the Las Vegas incident and the events that happened there. This time we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles incident and the wildfires that are going on there. My name's Colby.
My name is Caleb.
My name's Steven.
And today we're going to be talking about the wildfires in LA. I believe 3 of them started. I think they found the people that started them. And anyway, the wind just picked it up at the right moment, the right time, went all through Los Angeles, burned down a bunch of people's houses. So sad, burned down some buildings, and we're going to talk about it. So first we have a video that Colby sent us and wanted us to watch and talk about. So I'm going to put that on the screen real quick.
Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Yeah. So I only had a few remarks about that video. I don't know how accurate that video is, but a lot of people are sharing it. A lot of it's going around. I didn't know if it was like a joke or like a part of the show because it had some 911 clips from a TV show, not an actual fire department or anything like that. But the remark that was made about the man lying on the floor in a fire, that if he was lying on he should have been lying on the floor to begin with. Cause your whole job as a firefighter is to protect others and to preserve property. That is your entire job. And so if there's a man lying on the floor inside of a burning building, yes, as a firefighter, you should be going in there to rescue that man. Now, there are some situations to where it's best not to, and that's because there's just no possible way that they could have made it, and you want to protect you and your crew.
But you learn about that in the fire service.
Yeah, there's some things with that.
Risk and reward.
Yeah.
So if it's high risk and high reward, you might consider it.
Low risk, high reward, you're doing it.
Yeah. If there's low reward, high risk, in other words, like it's fully involved, which means everybody inside is probably passed.
Or the room that is the main fire is in a specific room that person would be in rather than the adjacent rooms.
Then you're creating more fatalities or patients by going in yourself.
So those are the situations, but for the most part, like you're going to go in there, you're going to rescue that person. I don't know why that remark was ever made. Honestly, I don't know.
It kind of sounds like, like in an unhealthy gaslighting relationship where somebody's like making a joke saying, yeah, you shouldn't cheat on me. And then the other person, instead of saying, I'm not going to cheat on you, then they start playing along and it's like, well, this person's so fun. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, that could be completely off. But this person is coming to, I believe it was the assistant chief of LA Fire and was like, or one of the assistant chiefs, I don't know how they do their rankings over there, but, and is like, are you going to be able to physically carry my dad or whoever out of a fire if that situation happens? And instead of saying, yes, we can, and we will, and we're always ready, and we're always fit, and we're always blah, 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 you're like, well, he shouldn't have been in there in the first place.
Yeah,
Do your job.
yeah, that's your job. And I say that we have a right to make these comments because I know a lot of people out there who might say things who aren't in this profession. We are. We're trained and we do this. And your job is to go in there and get that man off the floor and bring him outside.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
You know what we should have?
I think it's a time for a ghost.
Praise the Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Hey, you want a ghost?
Got any grape?
We got green apple. Oh, yeah, right here.
Sweet.
That's better.
I'm ready.
Me too. Citrus.
Grape.
I didn't get to get grape. They ran out of grape. Everybody's always running out of grape. It's like the best flavor ever.
It really is.
So far,
Ghost.
I've heard of the new flavor coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited for
I
it.
am too. I have the Ghost app. Ghost, if you don't sponsor us, I'd be so mad because I even downloaded your little app and entered it in all of your little thingies. You know,
We drink a lot of ghost.
we drink a lot of Ghost.
In our profession, our other profession on the ambulance, we drink a lot of Ghost. There's reasons
I
behind it.
drink ghost at home.
That too. I went away from sodas because they're bad for you. I drink a Ghost now.
Yeah, because that's better. It is. It is.
I never really drank
Some
sodas
cases.
that much.
But speaking of hydration, on the LA fires, I believe there was a little water incident that was going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So-
me and him were talking about this at one point, and he made a remark to my remark, and we could talk about it. But I told him that in fire departments, we have to do hydrant testing annually for PIL ratings and
Yeah.
other things. And how did they know they didn't have water if they did their hydrant testing? And he came up with the point, well, what if they had water when they did it,
And then
and
suddenly
then
didn't.
suddenly they didn't?
Well, Trump made a prediction that this was going to happen because of the lack of water. When there's a river, it's the
You can
San
look it up.
San Joaquin River. They have it dammed off in certain areas to protect the.
Like one of the fish.
It's a fish. It's a tiny little fish.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Delta Smelt is the name of it. The Delta Smelt is the name of the fish that they're trying to save, I guess. And I thought that was a really weird name. I thought it was a joke.
If they dealt it, they smelt it.
That's what I
Or
thought.
if they smelt it, they dealt it.
But the fish is really small. It's between 2
Like that fart.
to 2.5 inches big. Is as big as they get. But they're trying to save this fish from.
I'm sorry. Finish your story.
We're going to start over. The name of the fish they're trying to protect is called the Delta Smelt. Apparently, the salmon eat it, and then the killer whales eat the salmon. So that's why they're trying to save the fish. But the problem is, Caleb's a child, and is about to pee on himself.
Oh gosh. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay, Caleb. You sit back down. You can pee later.
So the problem
His
is,
brother told him a fart joke, and he thinks it's hilarious.
I'm sorry. Continue talking.
My
about-
daughter would love that joke because she loves fart jokes. And her name is Sophia.
Continue talking about the Delta Smelt.
Yeah.
the problem
Um,
is,
They're spending, as of right now, the insurance companies have lost $3 billion.
Well, I don't know if you. Hang on, keep talking about this because I got something to talk about the insurance companies.
Okay, but I'm saying the insurance companies have lost $3 billion. They could take 1 billion of that and put it toward conservation of the fish and flowing of water down the San Joaquin River so that the lower parts of California can have water to fight their wildfires. But they decided the fish is more important than anything else, and which I understand, yes. We eat a lot of salmon. I know I eat a lot of salmon. The killer whales, that's their main source of food besides seals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
So-
things that we do to help other things thrive. So they should have, we can sit here and say they should have done this and that, but I'm going to say they should have done something to not only help the fish, but California is known for wildfires. So to prevent an area of California to not have water to fight wildfires and think that there won't be a wildfire is insane.
I actually saw a video of I think it was Joe Rogan. He had somebody on his podcast.
Mel Gibson. Oh, my bad. You're probably talking about a different one.
But they were saying that there's just enough, with the way that the brush hasn't been cleaned out and how dry everything is and all the fires that normally happen there, if just the right wind hits, like just the right flame or spark or whatever at just the right time. They said this in July of 2024 or June or something like that, that the fire would spread all over LA, wipe everything out all the way to the ocean, and there wasn't anything that the fire department could do for them.
It's funny that a lot of people are predicting stuff like this. I mean, obviously that's something that you could predict because these are things that are maintenance that you have to take care of as a community and as a fire department. And whenever you get budget cuts, it also prevents you from performing these tasks.
Man, that was another thing that I wanted to hang on. There was
But I'm gonna throw a conspiracy in here while you're looking that up.
Okay.
It's
Hold on,
funny.
before that, on top of that, the problem is with cleaning up all the brush is the trees that are in California. That's how they, I guess you would say, reproduce, but grow more trees of themselves. Because
Yeah.
when the fires come through, it burns up the certain pine cones and stuff, and the seeds come out.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
do
how-
control burns here in Louisiana to where the forestry.
But it's so bad
burns
there,
the
you can't
forest.
do a control burn.
Yeah, I mean, you would know. You lived in California. Just to let everybody know, we're not just talking from non-experience. This man right here has lived in California. He knows about
I think
California.
The weather got really bad. Like our lawn, unless you had a sprinkler system that watered your lawn was brown all year round. I actually installed sprinkler systems for different people as a kid and got paid cash to do it. That was kind of fun.
Speaking of the sprinkler system, while he's still looking that up,
Oh, I found it.
there's a guy who saved his house, but he's an old vet. No, he's not old, but he's a vet. He put sprinklers on top of his house, cheap ones, he said, and around it, and he turned them on and he put fire retardant on the sides and he left. He said when he came back, his house was saved and the fire went right up to where the sprinklers were at and then didn't pass it. So that's how he saved his house without actually having to physically be there.
But what a lot of people don't understand about these wildfires is they burn hot and they burn fast and they can go up to 200 miles an hour. Like if you haven't seen Only the Brave is a good movie to explain it. You know, if you're not interested in looking that much into it, Only the Brave is a good movie about some wildland firefighters that lost their life. But I mean, that thing burns hot and fast. And honestly, I think what went over LA was not as, and it was horrible, you know, but it's not as bad as what goes through the mountains where it's just straight forest and the right winds. I think it could
saying
have
it could have
been
been worse.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse. And you're right. It was bad and it could have been worse. And the reason why it was as bad as it was, going back to the proper maintenance that should have been done to prevent it to getting that bad wasn't done
Yeah.
Because of budget cuts.
because of budget cuts.
And the budget cuts, well, I mean, there's other maintenance that doesn't relate to the fire department, but the mayor did make a budget cut to the fire department before the wildfire. And it was $17.6 million.
That's a
For
lot.
a city that big.
Yeah. $17.6 million was their budget cut, I believe. That's what it says.
Yeah.
And as far as we'll get to the insurance in a minute.
Well, a lot of big
I mean, I
city,
moved it.
big city fire departments, the government that runs that city are like, oh, the fire department doesn't really do anything. They're not doing anything right now. They're not doing anything. We can cut back on their funding
Yeah.
until something like this happens. They're like, well, why didn't the fire department do anything? Well, they didn't have the funding.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand about that is they don't do anything because they're the only service, only public service, only EMS fire service that does something to prevent it from happening. They're proactive. They're not reactive.
Yeah.
And people think, well, they don't do anything, but they just sit around all day. Well, no, they have things in place that they execute so that way they can prevent a building from catching on fire. Make sure you have smoke alarms. Make sure you have these fire, things are leaving my brain. But
Yeah.
and
So fire departments are
plans and
fire departments are, as well as EMS, police, all first responders, and a lot of more things are paramilitary, because something about the military is they take the best of biology and they take the best of like strategy. And honestly, if you want to look at how developed a country is, just look at their military, because they take all the best parts. But anyway, so the fire department bases their structure and the way they do things off the military, and that's why it's like paramilitary. So we do a lot of training. Now, granted, we'll be doing training for something that we haven't had to deal with, for like a specific type of emergency that we haven't had to deal with in 2 years, but we still have to do that training every year, every month, stuff like that, because whenever
in
it does
case.
happens, if you haven't been doing your training, then you can get killed. Your people in your fire department can get killed. The people you're meant to rescue can get killed, all because you didn't train and you weren't prepared. So there's a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of
if you don't use
checking
it,
off
you'll
your
lose
trucks.
it.
Yeah, checking off your trucks, checking your equipment every shift. And then there's like fire pre-plans, inspections, hose testing, hydrant testing. There's stuff that you do all throughout the year and multiple times a year even, that needs to get done. And, you know, whenever these people who aren't in the fire department or from the fire department decide you don't need that money, okay. But whenever that mayor or whoever, assistant mayor, whatever, jury, I don't know, whenever their family's house, then all of a sudden the fire department gets money again. You know?
it's too late now.
Yeah.
Or we'll stay on the fire side because there's other events that stuff like that happens with other services, but we're not on that today.
Yeah.
So those are just a few things to think about. The budget cuts, it's very important to make sure that your fire department's has a budget. And it's not just them that had a budget cut. Fire departments all over the nation, they didn't or don't have budget cuts. They just don't have a budget, period. And they're trying to come up with things to help budget their department, or getting hand downs from other departments that got something new, because they're trying to not only protect life, preserve property, they're trying to be proactive and not reactive. And there's a phrase from EMS where fire departments work themselves out of a business. And yeah, okay, we put it to what we helped the community to prevent fires, and that's what we want. And that made us
Obsolete.
where I'm going with it. I'm starting to stutter.
Obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did hear this old firefighter talking about this one time. It's like during and this is going to sound really bad, but like during 9/11, and he was a retired fire chief and he was working for an ambulance company at the time. But he was saying that during 9/11, whenever all that stuff had happened and 343 firefighters had passed inside the towers alone, not including all the fatalities afterwards from like the cancer and all that, but that really kind of put the fire department up on a pedestal. And so that's why they're more civil service, they're more tax based, and they get funding from the government, where EMS has to make their own money because they didn't get put on the same pedestal that the fire department did. And so they're not really funded as much. But speaking of funding, what about North Carolina?
So North Carolina did not get any like federal help. FEMA never showed up for the first few months that it was happening, and the locals and the local departments were having to do everything, use personal helicopters. They were having to rescue their own people. There was other states that sent their National Guard up there. North Carolina's National Guard, I don't think, was active. It was Florida's that was there first. And then North Carolina's came in. And FEMA didn't come in until after everything was said and done and people were rescued, and they were wanting to take the supplies from the people of North Carolina that got together and gathered supplies for their community. The FEMA wanted to come in and take all of that. And there were some big territorial issues there.
And there was a lot of suspicious activity going on as far as random Blackhawks just showing up and destroying camps.
Yeah.
Kind of suspicious. But this might sound off topic, but this actually leads us into LA, where these terrible fires have happened. And yeah, I mean, our condolences and all. But they got, like millions of dollars worth of funding from the administration. I believe I saw something this morning that said that each citizen got $700 something dollars for like I don't know, like food and housing and stuff like that. It's just kind of a little odd how they pick and choose who and where and what gets the funding.
Yeah, we could go deep into how, like, I think it's odd and wrong considering what got burnt and versus what happened in North Carolina, like the popularity.
Yeah.
But
Celebrities and their houses.
pretty much
Hollywood.
that said it all. I mean, that says it all. I don't really need to go deep into that.
PTB.
I just
Don't worry.
North Carolina had to receive help from other states and their communities, and Los Angeles is getting it from.
Just something to think about. And then also there's like Hawaii, and I didn't actually do a whole lot of research. I only heard about this, but like The Rock and everybody was saying that they were going to do funding to the citizens of Hawaii, and they promised it. They promised that they were going to give like these huge donations and all,
But they were going based off of
then they never did.
what's that thing? GoFundMe. They made a GoFundMe, and they were
That's
promising
what it was.
they were promising money to Hawaii, but they were going to get it from the GoFundMe.
Yeah, so they started to go
And they wanted people like us.
and they wanted us to pay for the assistance in Hawaii, but people like The Rock and whoever else,
Oprah. It was Oprah.
has what, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And-
And so they were promising our money as like a U.S. citizen versus their money. And I understand they worked for their money. I fully believe if I work hard for my money, I shouldn't be forced to give it to someone else. But at the same time, if you're going to promise someone money, you need to pull it from your pocket, not expect me to pull it from my pocket for you because you made a promise
And I'm gonna
that you
like
can't keep.
go off the deep end. I understand that not a lot of people agree with me, but I mean, keep listening because I'm not gonna talk on this for long. I feel like the money isn't ours. We get the money because of God.
Yeah.
And we should give the money because of God.
Yeah.
But that leads us into the help, other ways that the Los Angeles Fire Department was helped, other than funding.
Prisoners definitely help.
Yes.
Prisoners
And I honestly think the prisoners should help more often.
Yeah.
And obviously that's selective.
Yeah. It was
prisoners.
like trustees who were at the end of their sentence.
The trustees that are already out in public picking up trash and everything.
Yeah.
But I think some of the ones who have longer sentences but for like nonviolent crimes, should be able to get time off of their sentences for fighting fires like this because they could lose their life doing it.
Yeah.
So there's a show called Fire Country, and I like watching it. And it's basically about a fire department in Los Angeles, and they have a camp for prisoners that are trustees, and they are already close to the end of their sentence, and it helps work time off their sentence. And they go out and they help the firefighters fight fire. They are also firefighters, but they wear obviously a different uniform. They help cut the brush. They help do backfires, and that's kind of what these prisoners did to help them out. And I think that's a really good idea for the nonviolent crimes or just trustees, because in reality they need that help. They can't do this by themselves. And what better way to put prisoners to use who are trustworthy, who are close to the end of their sentence? They need to get back in the field. They need a profession to go into.
Yeah,
need
they were
something to
actually
fall
getting
on.
paid.
Yeah.
They were getting paid to help.
And I mean,
It wasn't a lot, but I mean,
I'd rather use someone that can be trusted in the system and who needs a foot to get back into society and not just be thrown into society. And the last thing they remember is 30 years ago. And now they're
Yeah.
like in culture shock.
And
Ease them back into it.
speaking of culture shock, it wasn't just prisoners that helped out. They had people coming from other countries, like other states, but other countries. They had people from Africa. I forgot what specific country in Africa.
I don't remember the people from other countries helping, but I know there was a plane that was leased, I believe, from another country. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but somebody was flying a drone in, I believe, restricted airspace. And this plane, I forget what they called it, but basically it picks up the water and it drops it.
Like a tanker.
Yeah. And it had a fist-sized hole in
In
some
the
part
wing.
of the plane.
It was in the wing.
It was in the wing of the plane. And they didn't realize it until they landed. And that plane is out of service until, I believe, Monday. When that was either said last week or that was said this week. So I saw it on TikTok. The California went over the news and
Yeah.
said it. And that's a resource right there that can't be used because now it's down for maintenance because somebody was flying a drone in restricted airspace.
Well, whenever never mind.
China's got their drones over
Not
there.
even gonna say that. Good thing that they had insurance on their plane, but you know who didn't have insurance? 1,600 people, 1,600
So
homeowners
I wonder, conspiracy.
in LA.
Conspiracy, and then I'll let you finish. I wonder if they didn't have insurance on their homes because the insurance company knew of the conditions and that the maintenance wasn't being done properly, and they couldn't insure all
the
those
prices
homes.
up so high they couldn't afford it.
That's exactly how insurance companies work, though.
And like we were talking about, the hydrants and hose testing is for PIL, which is for insurance.
So they keep up with all the fire safety and fire prevention anyway.
Yeah.
But I heard from somebody who worked on an air ambulance company that his life insurance while he was on that bird was garbage because he was almost expected to die just flying around in a helicopter. Or how whenever you're a certain age and a certain gender, your auto insurance is automatically skyrocketed or based on where you live. So if they know that you're a risk, then they're going to, make it super expensive.
Yeah.
Which what I read was the homeowners insurance company in LA dropped like 1,600 people from having homeowners insurance. And like you said, it makes you wonder, did they not know that something like this was about to happen? Because somebody started those fires.
Yeah. It wasn't just an accident.
Well, insurance companies will find any reason to get out of paying.
Yeah.
Any reason they could find. Like, for example, my roof. I had some storm damage to my roof, ripped off some shingles, and my roof started leaking. And they said, oh, your roof was old already, and you needed to replace it. So we're not going to pay. And I was like, wait, what? The roof's only 20 years old, and it's a 30-year roof. And you can't pay for the roof because of the storm, even though I'm paying I'm paying the insurance for you to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Like, no, it needed to be replaced anyway because it's old.
the house that I
But it's a
just
30-year roof and it's only 20 years old.
yeah, because the house that we just got, it has a 10-year. It's a 20-year roof. It's 10 years into it, and they went up on the insurance towards the end of closing because they said, well, it's an old roof and it has a chance of having leaks and falling apart and whatever. And I'm like, it's a 10-year roof on a 20-year. It's a 20-year roof with only 10 years in.
Yeah.
How?
Do you think my house would look good with a metal roof?
Yeah, I think it'd look good, man. Well,
If I changed the outside to look a little bit more
I
Western.
wouldn't do it. I like the way your house looks.
So,
Like,
but like, whenever we got the
metal
house,
roofs may be cheaper right now.
yeah, whenever we got the house, I was told that the roof was just redone. But I noticed that there's some sort of like dips in the roof between the studs and all. And I was like, that's kind of, I don't look like it just got done. And then my wife came back and told me, is like, oh yeah, they said that it had actually been done 10 years ago. But I mean, we got 30 years on our roof. So
so you have 20 more years.
I got 10
well,
more years before they
According
start
to your
trying
insurance
to
company, you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
got
mess
any
me
more
up.
years.
Yeah.
It's out.
No,
But
I got to start saving up now.
it's almost the end of the world. I bumped the table. Anyway, so
Yep.
don't forget to watch
Don't-
our
We
Don't,
watch our
you forget
shorts
to wash
videos.
your shorts.
That's right. Wash your
nasty
shorts.
dogs. Wash
and
your
breathe
and when
shorts.
you're
with your
done,
nose.
watch our shorts.
Right? Nose?
Yeah, you
Thought
gotta
it was
breathe
the
through your
mouth.
nose.
I'm kidding.
Did you know you can breathe through your nose?
That's another shirt. Wash your shorts. Make sure to watch our shorts.
Wash your sister.
And y'all should y'all should like our video. If you've made it this far, comment your dream vehicle and subscribe.
Don't forget to send us the video at the end. Nobody's done that yet. Again, of you saying hi or doing a funny talent or something, and we'll put you in our podcast. Love you.
Like, comment, subscribe.